How is everything going, guys? In today's video, I want to talk about different ways of starting a business in the Philippines. Let's talk. When it comes to starting a business in the Philippines, there's multiple options of how to do it. Some are pretty straightforward and simple, some are a little bit more complex, and so depending on your circumstances, one or the other might work better for you. So the first option, and really the simplest way to start, is simply to hire people here, either that are freelancers or that are working for a company like Purple Cow. In this type of scenario, you don't have to set something up legally, you don't need to purchase an office, you don't need to hire full-time employees, you just really leverage something that is already existing, either using an individual or using someone that is working for a company. So I think there's different pros and cons with this first option. With the freelancer, you're gonna get the lowest price. You know, it's probably someone that's working from home. There might be a bit of roosters in the background. The internet might not be super stable, but the price is gonna be as cheap as you could probably hope for. So if you're really looking to start something and the lowest possible price is your first importance, I would say look at somebody that's working as a freelancer from home and expect that you're going to have some struggles and you're going to wind up going through some people until you find the right person. How do I know this? Because this is what I did for quite a while before deciding to open up an office here in the Philippines. I might have to hire 10 people and find one person that was great, but eventually I would find the person that was great. Second option is to use a company like Purple Cow. So how are we different than a freelancer? With us, it's really exactly the same in terms of saying, I just want to work with you guys for 10 hours a week or for a project. However, the difference is that people are coming to an office and there's a lot more accountability from HR, from project management, from yours truly. So you're really gonna find that though you'll wind up spending a bit more, still far less than you would no doubt spend in your home country, that you're gonna find much more predictable results right out of the gate. So those are the two easiest options for getting started with a business in the Philippines. The second way is to think about forming a business over here. So if you do that, it's really two main types of legal structures that you want to consider. The first one is more of a standard corporate legal structure over here. With these, foreigners are able to own 40% of the corporation and Filipinos would make up the other 60%. Now, often in these cases, it's really the foreigner that seems to own things, but on the paperwork and legally, and you need to realize the and legally part, it's owned up to 40% by a foreigner. Now, sometimes foreigners will come over and they will have an employment visa and they are basically getting a visa to work for their own company. So that's also an option on the visa front of things. A second way that normally I would recommend is that you would start a one-person corporation like Purple Cow is, where as a foreigner you own the corporation 100%. We had a video recently with Heidi, mentioned that in the description, somewhere here or there, I don't know, wherever the video editor wants to put it. But this is, I think really helpful for just finding out more about this type of corporation. What I love about it is a foreigner can own it 100%. That's not for every type of business, but it's for many types of businesses, and I think really worth considering if you want to start your own company over here. So what are the advantages? The advantage of this is you are more in control, at least if you're here. If you're not here, then you're really not in any more control than the first option that I mentioned. But if you want to move here and stay here and you want to work day in, day out of the office like I do, then I think this is an option worth considering. Not everybody wants to have that life. A lot of people want to come over here and they might want to start a business but have others managing it. And so in that type of scenario, I would say it's worth considering this option or worth considering the first option that I mentioned, where somebody could take care of a lot more of the oversight. Now, when it comes to this type of option, obviously there's a lot more that goes into it. You're going to spend months forming the business and get everything up to going legally. You're going to have to think through visa the options, and you're going to need to hire people that are going to really oversee the team. And that's the easy part. The harder part, in my experience, is really understanding work culture over here and how different it likely is, especially from Western countries. People are different and culture is different everywhere in the world. The Philippines is no exception, but I feel like work culture here is very different than other places. A lot of what worked for me well in terms of leadership and management style in California had the absolute opposite impact here in the Philippines in terms of bringing out the best in people. And so working through culture and different things like that will definitely be an important thing as part of your journey if you go this route. Of course, feel free to reach out to me anytime, and I would love to share my experiences and have you learn from my mistakes so you don't have to make all of them yourself. A third way to start a business over here is by being a silent partner and having someone over here that lives here, that knows business here, that is the one managing the business. And I've had a number of people reach out to me on this front where they say, John, I want to start a business in the Philippines, but I don't necessarily want to manage it, or I don't yet have the experience to handle everything on my own. Would you consider partnering with me on this or that type of business venture? And these are definitely things that I always take seriously and am open to, but it really needs to be the right opportunity and the right partner. But as I've said many times, there are so many business opportunities in the Philippines, and I think that's really because it's a developing country. A lot of people look at the downside of that, but I look at the upside of that. There's so much opportunity here. There's so many opportunities to start things at lower investment initially, and there's so much opportunity to really supply more to the market here that isn't yet here, especially in places like Cebu City where we are. So I would always tell people Philippines is a great place to consider doing business. There may be some other options here that you feel I missed out on for how to start a business in the Philippines. If there are, make sure and drop me some comments what you thought below. If you have any questions about any of the type of things that I've spoken about or need any help with outsourcing or business formation, make sure and reach out to me as well. If you haven't subscribed, come on, help me out. Thank you so much, guys, for taking the time to watch. And take care.